So as we wait for Covax, the African Union and manufacturers of COVID-19 vaccines, to deliver doses to South Africa, be careful not to fall for a fake vaccine. Yes, it's a real thing. It's a global problem, in fact, and it's being tackled by Interpol. Even here in South Africa in November last year, a batch of fake jabs discovered in Germiston. Let's discuss this now with Stephen Kavanagh, Executive Director of Police Services at Interpol, who joins us from France this evening. Thank you very much for your time. So, we heard about the incident just recently that had occurred here in South Africa, that a batch had been seized here in Gauteng. Have there been any more incidents that you're aware of in South Africa since that November incident?
No, well, we continue to work with the South African police. What we have seen is that very large consignment, 6 million rand of fake masks. We saw the 400 ampules of a fake COVID vaccine. We've seen other examples in South America and in Asia. And we know that organised criminals are prepared to put people's lives at risk by putting these fake vaccines and fake masks on the market.
All right, so you've mentioned a couple of areas. Just talk to us about where you think the main networks are. It sounds like it is already big business.
It's big business that's going on the dark web and on the internet. What we see is that these are parasites. They're living off people's fears that they and their family might be vulnerable to catching COVID and the implications they have. So some people are desperate to get hold of these vaccines, and of course, often they look online and they see something that appears to be too good to be true, and the reality is that it is too good to be true. We're working across the world. We're seeing some production in Southeast Asia. We've had some very good cooperation from the Chinese police working with the South African police. And those arrests sort of revealed the global nature of these crimes. They're being produced in one location, shipped across the world and trying to be sold to vulnerable individuals. We saw 3 Chinese individuals arrested back in November with another individual from Zaire. These are global threats, and they only can be fought when Interpol work effectively with police on the ground.
Just how sophisticated is the process? Because I'm wondering if, say, for example, let's say, and this is a big debate here in South Africa at the moment, whether we allow big mining companies, for example, to import their own batches of vaccines and administer them. Could you be fooled at that level? Let's say you're a big hospital or a provincial government and you decide you want to try and import the vaccines. Is it that large, that sophisticated, that you could dupe an entire company or an entire hospital?
So I think that the other thing that we need to do is allay people's fears. When they go to the hospital, when they go to their reputable doctors, they will be getting a safe vaccine. But what we are seeing is that we've been on top of the COVID crimes since we're going back to March of last year. We worked and released notices trying to alert local police forces. And throughout, what we've said is whether it's masks, whether it's treatments, whether in the future it will be travel passports and other items, refer to your health authorities. They know who the reputable supply networks are. And that is the only way that you will access safe vaccines. The reality is when you buy a fake vaccine online, you put your family at risk, you put yourself at risk, and that is not what anyone wants. Recognise these people for who and what they are. They are parasites who will take your money and put your family at risk.
All right, so you're saying, could these vaccines, I mean, is it a situation where you might buy what you think is a vaccine and it's just a vial filled with water? Or are we talking about sort of backdoor, you know, people siphoning off actual vaccines from the factory floor, from reputable companies, and then sort of shipping it off to make money on the side? What are we dealing with here?
At the moment, what we've seen is that the majority of this is saline, it's salt water, and the majority of what we've seen is harmless. But we do know previously with copies of drugs for influenza and other fake vaccines that they have actually contained very harmful substances. So the reality is these criminals will use any method possible. Some will try and buy them or steal them. Some will try and copy them, and some will just put anything they want into a file that will try and make them money. So the best thing is to treat them all with a huge element of caution, to keep yourself safe, and to go to your health authority's website The police are working hard on this to try and identify the international links. And General Sitole from the South African police has been determined to make sure that we make those global links and we don't just deal with it at a local level.
Well, thank you so much for that information and also that reassurance that a lot of hard work is being put into place to make sure that we're not sold fake vaccines. That was Stephen Kavanagh, Executive Director of Police Services at Interpol.